again, I feel like they're putting a lot of their eggs in the Storm Spirit basket. And we've seen a lot of teams do really well, but also fail really hard with that. And yeah, they're just gonna go for the troll, I guess. It doesn't feel great. I think Unknown are very happy.
Yeah, they more or less forced it on them, to be honest. I mean, Grimstroke is actually so good against Troll. Troll just doesn't really have a lot of sustain against the continual magic damage that can come from a Grimstroke in the lane. And I mean, now this just leaves open the mid draft. Like they're not. No, it's not even the mid draft. It's the what is it actually for DogChamp? They're still trying to draft their 5.
They
And
either need a 5 or a 4, and I mean, Unknown, they can take out whatever they don't want to play against. I mean, Yaren, I'm looking at back at some of these drafts. He's played the 4 puck, he's played even the 4 quap, but yeah, they're just gonna take out the Willow. Saw him play it in the previous game, and he's gonna need to dive even deeper into his hero pool. But I'm not sure what they pick up for him. I really am not sure, because with this Willow ban, I don't think any 4 really feels fantastic, and I don't, not a 4 that doesn't feel fantastic. Pairing it with this Mars versus Wraith King Grimstroke, I think this offlane is going to be a really big sore spot for DogChamp.
not to mention, Unknown do have the last pick for that offlaning hero. Enigma wasn't really the first one that came to mind for the side of Unknown because it's just Enigma needs that farm as well. They ban Invoker on the off chance that this could be a offlane DP as well, or it could
They
be.
can
Well, you don't.
definitely flex it. They can
Yeah,
definitely flex it because it's a ranged hero that wanes versus the troll, because they might be looking to pull out not a melee hero versus the troll, as that's one of the situations where troll can get away with those lanes. But taking out Rubik, what does Yaren play? I mean, the Clockwork is still in. That's one of the heroes we've seen a lot of teams play, but again, it's not that reliable disable, and I think he needs to play something that's going to take the load off of Luki, where when Luki was the only disable, the only initiation in the previous game, he wasn't able to keep up with it, and having that secondary initiation would definitely make it easier on him. But I really don't know. You can't really pick Shaker. I'm really trying to grasp at straws here. You could always go for the Tusk. It's not a bad pick, but again, I don't feel like it's going to be enough to really pressure this Wraith King. Tusk is really the only hero I can fathom for Yaren.
yeah. There's not really just anything in the pool here. I mean, you can't run the OD. That's not going to work out too well because you don't want the counter set. I mean, we're down to the last second, and I mean, Marana is in the pool as well. I actually forgot about that here. This wasn't banned.
The
That's
only issue with
still
it is it's not great. It kind of gets out roamed by the Earth Spirit, which is one of the reasons we see so many in the SA so many Earth Spirit versus Maranas. But it's not bad. It's sort of that pseudo burst for the Death Prophet, where if she gets pulled and she gets pulled into an arrow, there she can die, and that is an upside. But still, versus the Wraith King, it doesn't really do much. I feel like the Wraith King is gonna be able to majorly ignore her. And now Unknown, the big question for Unknown is, do you want to run this DP in the off lane? What do you want to lane up versus the Troll? Because they're very happy if this Death Prophet was going to go mid, and I think that was originally the plan, but really, they could do whatever they want at this point.
they could run an Underlord here. It's actually not terrible against their lineup. It could get the good catches. Storm Spirit has to be careful zipping in under a pit. And it's good response for a Mars. I mean, the fire actually is the exact circle size of the Mars inner circle of the arena. Maybe
It's
not so much
that.
so that the Marana's got a lot of burst damage and the Storm is the same story.
Yeah, they just want a hero that's going to make, at the same time, this Oracle, knowing they want an initiation that's big enough. I can't imagine they would go for like Tide or something, but even Tide's in the pool. There's so many offlaners that made it through, and they're
All
gonna
right,
just
well.
run it back. They're just gonna take it back.
I mean, why not, right? You do see that you see Mars picked up. It's still one of the better heroes that's versus the Mars. We saw it a lot last game, and Creep has a hard time running away from Jaquil. So it's or Troll has a hard time. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Creep has a hard time
Yeah,
running away from it, and it just feels like it's an unknown draft already. I'm ready to be proved otherwise, though. There's always some crazy thing that can happen in the middle of the game. But it
same
just
here.
you're looking at Unknown's draft and you're looking at DogChamp's draft and you're like, well, I mean, one's got a Wraith King and Wraith King is the meta.
And I mean, previously, this is the hero that they were looking for, and this is the hero that they would have had if they did decide to pick a different mid laner, but it's just a Timbersaw in front of a DP. RoboZ has that frontliner now that isn't even Burna. Now they've just got these two walls whenever this mid game does finally go down, and I feel like DogChamp are going to need so much net worth on both of their cores before they're really going to be able to take a convincing fight. And again, it's going to be up to Lukey. It's going to be up to these rotations as he's, again, the sole initiation. It's really dependent on him to make a lot of these plays along with Ray. If him and Ray aren't able to make this map hard for Unknown to exist in, then I think Burna, we've seen it time and time again. He's carried his team to victory, and we're going to see that here.
And going back to it, like, DogChamp are playing on a timer as well. Like, Troll needs to kind of get online a little bit earlier, and Storm Spirit needs to get that get the silence as soon as possible. But I mean, if Wraith King gets a Radiance by the time both of them have the item, then they're on track. But if Wraith King has the Radiance and one or two of those heroes don't have the one of the two items that they need to kind of like steamroll, it's going to be the Radiance farming technique, and they're just going to keep doing it.
And yet again, I just think that they just need so much, and they do have the small spikes. That is why this Ray Storm, that's why you pick Storm Spirit. That's why you pick Troll Warlord, where you have that Javelin level 6 little power spike. You've got the Orchid spike where we always see the smoke up afterwards, and they need to accentuate how powerful those spikes are. They need to get a lot done in those timings, and if they aren't able, then I'm all Team Unknown right now.
I was looking at, my favorite thing is cosmetics. I went to go check out the Wraith King. This is like one of my favorite Wraith King sets. It actually looks better without the particle effects.
Yeah. He just looks like a World of Warcraft, or it actually looks like a Vermintide character with the spikes, the spike skulls.
Yeah, we did have that Vermintide set that was out there for a little while, I believe. Really weird sets that came out of there, but there was a really good Doom set that was in there that I've got, like, I think
the Warhammer 40k series is very powerful, especially the secondary series, the Kunkka set, still one of the best Kunkka sets.
Oh yeah, I've got that set. It's really nice. I've got every set that's not the Dota Plus shards, more or less, except for like the ones that came from this event.
No, I see.
Diretide. Yeah, the Diretide ones were hard. I had a sniper one. I sold it, and I bought a Slark and what's the other one? Snapfire.
Snapfire. Nice.
Yeah, I don't need a sniper set, dude. I like the Viking sniper.
Oh, same. But now I mean, they're gonna go top with 3 heroes at the same time. Unknown are just gonna run at you. I don't think they're gonna do any lane shenanigans, as they should be very happy if lanes do go the normal way. If anything, I think they want Drakeel versus the Troll. There just isn't very much that Troll can do versus Timber up until he does get that Javelin. If he doesn't have it queued up yet, but I'm assuming the Maelstrom is just going to be the very common build that we see nowadays. But again, we've got Widge on his signature hero. He did so well as Lion last game. I really hope he's going to be able to cause chaos on the map again, as again, he sort of is the instigator, just like in the previous game where Widge was able to put the team sort of on his back while Drakeel was running around creating opportunities. And Prada not being on Undying is also kind of nice to see, getting him to spread his legs a little bit, as we usually see him on some pretty boring heroes. It's usually a Lion or an Enchantress, but this is it's a nice change of pace.
That is a weird voice line for Timbersaw.
The battle begins.
Oh, Burna? Just lining up his branches.
Oh. Just like, what are you talking about?
He just dropped him on the ground in the line in front of him. He's just killing time.
I mean, nothing was really happening there, but...
And they're going to try him. Unless B9 TP's bottom.
They might be trying to do the first blood pick then, and then roll from there, because they do see, at least for now, that it is just Burna with this ward. Okay, well, no. Now they see Prada here, so... They do see that it is at least a 2-3, but B9 is hanging out in the sidelines, and this usually signifies that that wanting to get first blood order here, looking for the full route. Prada needs to soak it. Yep, there it is.
Perfect.
That's how that's going to happen there, and yeah, B9 just starts the TP out.
Not bad forcing the salve out of Burna already, but you're already forcing his wave into the tower, and I mean, this is going to be a little bit annoying again for Luki, but that's not the goal of this lane. The goal is for Burna to get as much last hits as possible and get enough levels where it's going to be very hard. Oh, perfect block from Prada. So this range creep isn't just always conceded, and we'll see if they're going to be able to get the denies.
He's working on it. Yep, gets the stun.
Oh,
there it is.
Perfect.
Excellent usage of that as well. They're able to make these trades for the overall on that pretty effectively here, and Yara not able to get the block. Or with the pull there, I mean.
Yeah, Prada, Burna, they play so well together, and it's very nice to see such a synergy in the safe lane for both these players.
Prada unable to get that one that time, but actually wasn't in range, Luki, to get the XP for that one.
But still, leading the CS, it's Wraith King. Burna hasn't really missed, and getting any denies in this kind of situation, yeah, just pumping it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see he's already bought the glove. He's very confident in knowing that this hand of Midas is going to happen, and just Prada playing out of his mind, getting these blocks and pulls. I mean, Burna is going to be able to carry 2 of these creeps in, which will pull the rest. And only 1 melee is going to be denied here, but Burna's not really concerned about that one. Luki tears into them as much as possible. Luki does need to be careful, too. This is the burst I was talking about, that there's not much both the Troll and this opposing offlane Mars is really going to be able to do against the early burst damage that could come from Grimstroke. Like, just Stroke of Fate alone does a huge chunk of damage, and if they find the Inkswell combo with the follow-up stun from Burna, then he just dies.
And every single time they force Luki to use his mana for these CS, it's a small win, but it adds up after a while, and it's just as well as soon as they get level 2, or rather level 3, level 4 on the side of Unknown, their heroes can be so much more aggressive onto Luki. He just needs that crit. They need that level 2 in the Inkswell, and then it will get scary.
Going to our alternate lanes here, we can go take a quick gander at the Storm Spirit. Ray Lisa having a 50-50 even time at the moment. RoboZ not having the worst time himself. He's got the full Null Talisman before Ray Lisa has his coming in. But it's about the same here. It's 15-3 to 14-2.
Yes, and yet again, it's just going to pull back to the runes. It looks like he was able to get the slight edge on RoboZ, where he does have that completed null and the bottle coming out, where Ray is spending a little bit more mana, or rather a little bit more moolah on regen, and Ray's getting aggressive though, but yeah, it's just the heal.
It's a very slow one though, but it still will heal him over.
Bottom.
But looks like
Or
bottom
top.
will actually, or top. Sorry, we'll get the first blood there. It's on Burna too, actually. And you don't want to be throwing those out like that. That's your Wraith King there. That's gold.
And it looks like it was just the creep wave still under control, and Yarn's able to make a perfect rotation towards the rune as well. And does he get it? Oh, perfect. Finally, Ray's got a rune in a reasonable fashion.
He's got a rune in a Dota 2 game. That's not the bounty. He's very excited about that.
Very excited, but it's just Yarn. Even though he's not been able to get a lot of these pulls off successfully, the creep wave, as you can see, is just pulled back, and that's sort of the power of this Mirana, where it's very difficult for Prada to ever make a pull for himself, and they're having to constantly use the Stroke of Fate to win these trades in the lane, where Prada just isn't able to get some of these key pulls off because Yarn's just so annoying.
Yeah, both in multiple senses, because, God, that taunt is so loud. Well, let's jump down to bottom real quick. We do see a little bit of a quarrel going on here, but the bot lane is probably the lowest impact lane overall. Drakeel not really able to make good fights against creep very early. More or less just able to withstand attacks that come out from them.
If anything, the real catalyst in this game is going to be, well, Prada just walked past an arrow, but whether or not Widge is going to be able to go do stuff to the Storm Spirit, make it very hard. You see Widge is probably getting up a deep ward, or could just be walking around. He doesn't want to get too far away from Drakeel because they do have a lot of magic burst, and if he does get ensnared, rooted up a little bit too much, he will be going down. But Widge, if anything, just looking for couriers. He's just trying to get levels, and he will find one.
Yep, it's a good one as well. This one's not going to be able to have any flight potential here, while the second one, Widge not really in range of that one, though. And, I mean, this puts Drakeel in a very scary spot. He rolls in, but B9 able to find the burst damage out from Purifying Flames. They will get this kill, and That's like you were talking about. He doesn't want to go too far, but he just overextended, trying to go for that second courier, and Wiz just unable to get in there.
And the big deal there was that Creep, with his item build, he rushed for that Javelin, and that's the little power spike I was talking about. Usually they don't have it this soon, but it looks like he was just able to rush it just maybe 1 or 2 items ahead.
Do see Lukey, though.
They
He's
got
in a
him.
bit of trouble. Yeah, he's just done there. Prada able to deal the burst damage with the stun, but back in the mid, the arrow out onto Robo Z.
And that's the issue. They need to be so careful. And yet again, a DD rune. Now we're seeing Ray. Ray is coming back in form this time around.
I mean, it's going back to what we've said practically all throughout today and all throughout consistent days and, you know, just probably from millions of other casters. The mid rune literally dominates and dictates how your lane is going to go as a mid player. If you don't get it, then you don't win mid.
As well as just Ray with the experience, with the knowledge.
B9.
Easily his best hero.
B9 was in
Bottom,
trouble.
yeah.
Actually, it's going to go on Wish instead. And Creep, now level 6,
no.
hitting that. Looking for the lucky root. Unable to get it, though. He does have the ranged whirling available if they want to swap over to it. But Jakeel, that's the only problem with trying to fight up against this Timbersaw. He's got the stacks to work with.
Oh, Prada?
They're diving this tower. They do actually find Prada here. And they will TP Wish in here, but I don't think Wish is going to be able to really help out here. Lukey is going to be targeted with this, but Berna not yet level 6. Not really going to be able to help out here, and now it's quite a different game in comparison to game number 1. This is where we're seeing Unknown being ahead with the 5-kill lead, and now we see DogChamp with a 4-kill lead at the 8-minute mark.
And it's so important that this is happening. They need to get the space, and it's just so important for their team where if they're not able to get a lot of the lanes, it's history at this point where if they lose their lanes, it just seems like the game is so much harder for them, either mentally or just straight up with the numbers.
A little bit of lack of communication there. Berna was maybe kind of poising to run at Lukey there, but doesn't want to risk it too hard. He's not that far behind. Well, I say that, though. He is actually 500 or 400 in comparison to the Troll, who is having a much more free lane than I was anticipating. I thought the Timbersaw Jakeel would be able to put in some good effort to him, but it seems like it's going to be sort of an even race here. Speaking of that, Jakeel's going to be in trouble here. Creep looking for a root, but unable to find it.
Oh, and nice.
Up in the top lane with the arena, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they were able to he was just able to walk it out. I think he just got silenced and the spear was just a little bit too late that he didn't even consider using it once the arrow had whiffed.
Well, they don't know that Robo Z is up here in Viz. There is no ward to scout it. And Robo Z will do exactly that. They'll roll in, they'll drop the Moonlight Shadow, they push him back, and they will still get it. And now with this Exorcism used, I imagine you just take the advantage you got and run into the tower.
Exactly, and this is what they need to do, and what RoboZ will be able to do so well in this hero is, it's just the little things. You're just accelerating the game, and while it's not the most important tower, they know that they can't really respond in stride. Oh,
they
wow.
find him immediately, and they go in for the silence, but he has 3 leap charges to escape, and he doesn't get hit by the boulder.
What a juke from Yaren.
You see that Berna is taking quite a bit of return damage, but they still get the tower. And the initial kill, of course.
And if anything, Ray was watching. Oh, Berna just barely TP'd bottom. But if anything, Ray not even showing up to use his mana, but just still farming, and it's this Orchid timing that he wants to hit. He wants to continue to be the strongest hero on the map and apply that pressure once he finally has it. And still working on it, but should be 11, 12-minute timing. Very solid.
You know, they'll be very happy to end up getting that silence. It's got to be careful here, but yeah, back up in top, actually. They will get him with the arena kill. Okay, I thought they were going to be able to get this storm, but I guess not.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have silence up on RoboZ. He's just not a high enough level. But they were able to bully the storm off of the runes, and again, we see with this Timbersaw, we see this every single game with this Timbersaw. While Berna, being that the Troll's already vacated the lane, is going to take that tower on, Jakeel is going to put pressure as much as he can on the mid tower, and we'll see if DogChamp are going to be able to punish him. But it looks like Berna will get a little bit of free space. He's got a Midas recipe queued up, but 2,000 gold, he might just decide to go straight for the Radiance.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually swapped off. It's Radiant's time. Well, he might be having it couriered out. I remember it is quite a big, expensive thing to get.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
It's
attack.
22 now, isn't it? No, it's not. 19 mid. Unknown, they were looking to maybe try to get the silence opening there. It is level 1 on Death Prophet. They do find the double down there with the silence, and leashed up, they find the kill.
Perfect.
Prada to claim both, actually, but you see Realisa with Yarn jumping in there. The arena is not available for 13 seconds. They will find the kill on Wiz, and RoboZ maybe trying to run up at them, but can't get it. And you see with the rest of this Arcane Rune, the last second of it, I believe.
Yes, it was.
They will go ahead and just pop the Exo, but immediately skewered to the tree in the arena, and Realisa actually goes down, finding a double trade of their own with Realisa. Now Drakeel not in a great spot here, but he did have 24 stacks. He is able to jump out of there, but whoop. Realisa, you don't want to overextend here. Timbersaw can burst him down, but this mid tower likely to be picked up on top of these kills.
And this just feels very nice for DogChamp. Unknown really didn't consider that they were going to punish them, I suppose, and they felt maybe a little bit safe because they did have that sentry right here, and just not expecting heroes to be just straight up on the high ground.
Arrow.
Barely.
Just off to the left that little bit more. But now the silence is up out onto Realisa. This game is in their hands, and he's very happy to be having a nice game in comparison to game number 1, where didn't really feel like that. And now they get to reveal the silence, but there's no damage around immediately for the follow-up. And now Creep comes in, and there's that damage. They will throw out the root as well from the right clicks, and Creep will get it.
Perfect.
Maybe a little bit of a premature ult there from Creep, but I mean, they get the kill, and they're happy about it either way.
It's damage. It'll heal them up to full, and that's the thing about whenever Unknown do decide to engage these fights is, as we saw mid, they need that picture-perfect silence onto B9. If they can get him ulted and maybe the Storm Spirit, or where we saw the Troll getting ulted mid, that's the perfect way for them to start a fight. But until then, they are kind of beholden to their ultimates. They need to wait for Exo. They need to wait for a little bit of time now, and this is what I mean when I say they need to win the lanes on DogChamp, is now they've bought themselves a decent amount of time. Creep's allowed to finally hit creeps and work towards that BKB, and it just allows Ray to have a game as well. And so far, 111 last hits, 6 kills. They're just going to try to keep the good roll going for the Storm.
And they will smoke up and try to keep that good time rolling, like you're saying. Gonna see the I mean, who are they gonna end up finding? The first one that's gonna be in the immediate zone is Prada, as he does ping the ward that he just
And have to be careful. Prada might be... Oh, he's breaking it.
Yeah, he broke it. He saw the smoke.
They can't tell where they broke it from. They know sort of now, but they're just gonna give up, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like that's just how they're gonna leave it be. That's just it.
And I mean, all things considered, not the worst thing. You are farming up on Burna. Oh yeah, mid.
Going for the roll, but still only being level 1 silence from RoboZ. That does not last long enough for a finish up.
And you see, even 14 minutes into the game, they're just not keeping... They want the rune out of the hands of Ray. As we see, he picks up an Arcane Rune, and this hero is just so much stronger when he has those runes. And really, if Unknown are able to translate a lot of the item timings that they're getting now, that being the Radiance, probably the Hood coming out on Timbersaw, then they're going to be able to take those runes away from the Storm Spirit. But as we are right now, DogChamp are completely fine with sort of a drawn map at this point. No side is really taking any heavy losses.
Well, they do smoke up, but this might just get broken immediately. They find Lukey.
Oh, he's in a crazy spot.
This is a bad spot for him. The silence is going to be there, and the follow-up stun. There's no escape for Lukey on this one. Throw a spear out to maybe push him back, but not able to get the pick there. And Yaren actually maybe a little bit too close for comfort. He will get stunned in silence, but not hit with the boulder. He'll be able to leap up to the next set of stairs.
B9 versus RoboZ bottom as well.
Oh, sorry, I went bottom. I'm like, there's nothing happening bottom here. But yeah, RoboZ just going to burn him up here. He will be able to grab this bounty rune. And you see the Storm zipping in. Actually, they are going to be able to find a return, but they will throw out the soul bind. But there's no one to bind it to. RoboZ is going to be rolling out of there and back in, though. Wants to play it safe, but they still end up losing Prada here. And I believe Storm Spirit's fine. It's not dead.
It was so close.
Jakirill's floating around.
Oh,
Jumps in. They've got enough damage. The roll goes out. B9 likely to die. Unable to grab Rayleeza, though.
and that was so close to being on the edge. RoboZ actually just barely got his Yules delivered. He survived with maybe 75 HP after the Soulburn from the Orchid, but at the same time, both sides are okay with nothing happening. I think Burna still waiting for that Radiance to get delivered out to him. He's only 200 gold away, and then again, it's going to be a farm fest, and a farm fest that I think Unknown are very happy taking, but the thing is, as the game goes on, we always see the Storm Spirit able to find these opportunities, and there aren't too many spells he's afraid of in this game. It's really the Earth Spirit Silence in that Grimstroke ultimate, and if he's able to circumnavigate those, then he will have a relatively free time, especially in these team fights.
I thought DogChamp smoked back up again. It's just Yarn on Invisor, and they do find B9, though. They silence it, and the arrow goes through, though. It will be able to put Wish. They actually use their Exorcism for it, but
nice
it's
dodge.
well-timed Yules. RoboZ is able to get out of that one, but the arena is holding him over, but the rest of Unknown are here. They want to get this return. They will be able to insta-give Rayleeza, but at the same time, RoboZ will fall, and Yarn will be traded off. The Radiance just coming in from Burna. And Creep, maybe not accounting for this one. There's a lot of damage going up, but the first life for Burna will be expended. But, I mean, that's just it, though, is that it's the first life. He could still get this kill on Creep, and in fact will. And this is a huge team fight for Unknown. They get these good kills and good claims for it. And this mid tower goes down, too.
And you see Bloody Nine, he just didn't have his ultimate. It was still on cooldown after he ulted Ray bottom, and they're pinging him out now, and Burna literally got the Radiance as the courier was delivering it to him. It was just a second before the fight broke off. Even that, he got to die with the level, or the second level in Reincarnation. He's really not too disturbed, and again, he's just going to start farming it up, and you look at the items on DogChamp, they're just slightly more expensive, where you have that Bloodstone, you have that BKB that you would have loved to have. All right. Got a freebie.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Sorry, I just realized my mic was muted for some reason. Anyway, they do find the kill in the bot lane. Rayleeza does jump in, though. I was trying to find out what was going on with my network. You probably hear me at least having a little bit of robot voice every now and again, yeah?
Yeah, yes, that is true. That is true. You surprised me for a second. I was like, what's going on here? But at the same time, DogChamp, they just want to keep on putting pressure on the map. We see the 4K Gold lead that have divot a little bit there as Creep was not able to farm the map. But again, time and time again, we've seen this Wraith King get away with murder, it feels like, in especially a lot of these games. But I think top, this might finally be the punishment.
Yep, the Wraith King is going to be brought down. I think he doesn't have his res for another 10. And, I mean, 21 charges is not going to save him.
Worst case scenario, too, because they were smoked behind him. They wanted to make a play towards their Wraith King. They're going to run into each other with the BKB on Creep.
Yep, he rolls in. The arrow goes through. He has to end up using the Yules as a defensive. And, I mean, he's just dead immediately. And Creep even throwing out his ultimate here. He's likely to find the kill on Prada with it as well. The BKB reveal.
I mean, immediately into Roche. That's where they should go.
Yeah, there's no reason not to walk in there. It's a free Roche for them.
And it's so easy as well. And again, we see how effective or how important this Aegis is when we see it on the Storm Spirit. We see it on this Medusa. The pressure that you're allowed to put onto the map. And again, dying so close to the pit, it's very unfortunate for Unknown. But again, DogChamp, they can still win. Oh, Widge.
Trying to get in there, but unable to get it. Just gets speared immediately.
Under attack.
And now, I mean, DogChamp are continuing to gain speed. They've finally gotten over that hump, and that hump is going to end up being Burna. But if he's not able to find everything, we did see in the Undying game that Tomato was sort of able to 1v5 that game, but a Wraith King's a little bit of a different hero. It's not that Morphling.
Yeah, his but on the bright side, he has the Radiance though, so he can make the comeback farm being a real thing. And you know, of course, he's got the skeletons that'll just go ahead and farm up what's left all over the map, and he's got that much at least going for them. And once this Heaven's Halberd is ready to go, actually, it's going to be another good thing for them to use, because like the troll, though he's not causing too many issues, is going to become a problem once he has all this farm available to him. And I mean, you can see it already. He's working for the yes and Y. Moonlight. Zip in. I mean, they're gonna find this kill, I believe. There's no real way that Prada is getting out of that one.
Oh, they're pinging RoboZ.
Yeah, they do see him down here. Luki sets up, throws the spear. They will find the latch, and they find RoboZ as well.
And we're seeing such a different team this time around. They've got their item timings. They were able to get something, and it just feels like a completely different team, a complete 180, where now it's Unknown that are really heavily on the back foot. They need to wait for that BKB on Death Prophet. They need to wait for a lot of these items, and at the end of the day, then you still need to get a very good team fight where this Ray is not going to be able to kind of walk over you, but he's got Bloodstone components coming out. He's feeling very, very farmed. A real night and day situation.
Yeah, this is it's just kind of like, I don't want to say it's reminiscent of game 1, but it's the same scenario. It's just game 1 didn't really feel like it was DogChamp's game, and now we're coming back into game 2, and now it is DogChamp's game, and it's nice to see that, because game 1 was hard to kind of make that comeback.
And a big part of it, I think, just being not getting Ray on a hero that he really wanted. I think Unknown really targeted those bans well, and you can do this. You can just first phase the Storm Spirit. You're so comfortable on it, and again, getting the Arcane Rune, having map control with Storm Spirit, so important. And we'll see if Unknown are able to make anything of it.
Well, they are rotating around for the time being. Maybe Dog try to find some more picks, but Unknown. Are they smoked up yet? I mean, what are we on our smoke timers? How many do we got? They will deward this high ground. Smoke? Question mark? Smoke? I saw one. All right, there it is.
There's one on Widge, but yeah, he's just bottom, and they're just trying to make these plays where they're dragging. I mean, DogChamp are doing a very good job.
Yules, Widge, Arena. I mean, with the TP in from Prada, though, he's going to hold it back for a little bit. I mean, they do get the tower, though.
And that's all they want to do. They want to bring around Unknown, and it's the holes that they want. DogChamp wants to jump in. That's where Ray is trying to find these openings, and they decide to defend their triangle. Then, similar to the first game, DogChamp want Unknown to fight them because DogChamp know that they can win, and they're going to keep on forcing these moves until Unknown really have a big mess up, a big opportunity for the Storm as Arcane Rune.
Zip in. They are going to go for this one. The Arcane Rune gives them that big jump in time frame. They will be able to find the kill on it. Actually, I don't know. But it's going to be the other way around. Storm Spirit zips out of there, while Troll will clean up the back lines. They do manage to get 2. RoboZ, though, they want to try to put in some return pressure, but the beautiful jump in 3-man silence is going to be there, and Jakeel is going to be getting wailed down here, but Creep is going to find the kill on RoboZ instead, and Bloody 9 will hit the floor. The resurrection for the Wraith King is going to be expended. Jakeel burning away from the Spirit Vessel. There's 5 more charges left in him, though, and the Wraith King able to get out of that one. They still find the kill on Yaren and Luki. But now they're going to keep turning around here. Jakeel, he needs another tree to jump to, but no, the silence is going to be there. The root, they don't need it. Ray Lisa is going to end up getting it with a Vortex, and they will find this kill. It's a 3-2. You do get the Wraith King Resurrection, and I don't believe Wraith King is 18 yet either, so it's going to be a long one until Burna has it back. Still a good fight overall. Actually, no, it says it's a 5-man wipe.
Or I think Earth Spirit died. No, he didn't die twice. That's interesting. Maybe it's counting the original maybe kill on Widge bottom. I'm not sure. But I don't think Widge died 3 times or 2 times in that fight and then bought back, but still. It feels very good if you're DogChamp right now. Both of your cores are accelerating so fast now, and even with the jump from Ray, he went in, not having the BKB yet, goes in, forces out the silence. He doesn't have the Aegis anymore, sadly, but played it perfectly, absolutely perfectly.
I want to be a little bit careful there, though. DogChamp's heroes are on the sidelines here. Burna is going to be found. Doesn't have res for 43. Will disarm. Ooh. Prada. I mean, he's no way, shape, or form making out of that one.
And I don't think Luki will be able to punish, but this is the issue for Unknown, is that there's just so much net worth now on the side of DogChamp, and they're very mobile on all of their heroes. Really, the only hero that's quite immobile once he gets in there is Luki, but he should be building towards his BKB next, and then the issue is your Death Prophet's getting bursted. She doesn't have that BKB still, and this is a big problem that they haven't really been able to solve. There's been no lanes for her to kind of sit in, as Ray Lalisa, DogChamp have just been ready at pretty much every turn. It's really Berna that's just been the one to farm.
I mean, it's... Sorry, I'm still just trying to fix everything up here, but I'm just gonna have to do that real quick. There we go.
No worries.
I minimized chat.
Oh,
That's
but
what
mid.
happened. Yeah, they do throw down the arena in mid, and it will find this Timber Saw Drakeel finally going down. Saw him go down in the last transaction of the fight there, but now they finally get him, and that's a good pick for them. It gives them the ability to take these towers with free reign and maybe put in some pressure for this tier 3.
Wee's going to be Glyph, and again, he's just a little bit too far away from his BKB on Robo-Z. They have to be so scared. If they ever want to jump in, he doesn't have just enough mana on Ray yet, and he doesn't have a rune either. But, well, he's taking a big zip.
Yeah, they zip in and just removes Prada from existence with that zip in. Although they do manage to put the disarm out on the troll. He doesn't have an Aegis or anything yet. Does have BKB, though. But holding it, just making sure he waits for the exact time that it best fits.
And I'm not sure if you're happy with that, to be honest, if you are DogChamp. You used your 10-second on Ray, you used all of his mana to get that kill on Prod, and you didn't even get Glyph out. You were a little bit too afraid to stick around after the BKB on the Storm was used. And this is kind of a timing for Unknown. If they want to, they can maybe look for a fight in the triangle where they might be a little bit too scared to contest them, or even a smoke up.
I mean, it just looks like Unknown are just scared to really walk out, though. Berna, once they get a pick on the triangle, they might be able to find Yarn, but, I mean, with the leaps away, it was very scary. He was trying to get that that neutral item there. Well, they do ping out Drakeel, though, and Luki, he's here. Yules is there. We're going to see him skewer to the tree line there. The zip in as well with the follow-up silence, but B9 does die on the sidelines. But it's much better trade here, and I mean, you see Creep, he's over here in the triangle. He might be able to find somebody with a ranged whirling. But no cheddar. No dice.
Now, yeah, they're going to smoke up. They know that there's no save. If they get a good jump... Oh, they saw Creep.
Yep, there's the jump in indeed, but the BKB is still up. They buy back immediately on Timbersaw, and Creep throws out. Now, he doesn't even need to ult. There it is now. He will find the bash. Now he's turning to Robo-Z, but he has no choice, as it is how the ultimate works. He's going to be disarmed on the latter half and will be brought down. No BKB available because he's already expended it. His ult is not there either. No Aegis to work off of, and now we're going to see Luki in trouble too. All of his HP disappearing in one ability. And Drakeel, they're going to keep hunting. They want to find some more here, but Wish not able to
with the haste.
roll around.
Oh, if he got the Yules?
Relisa, silence. They will be able to find this Timber. The arrow goes through. The burst damage is there, and Drakeel will go down. He almost didn't go down, though. Oh. Oh, have you lost me completely?
No, I can still hear you.
Okay, well, that's weird. My
Berna.
stream just says it's straight up dead, but yeah, Berna, speaking of dead, might be going down here. The first life will be expended.
They got
Resurrection. Yeah, he's rolling out of there. They've got what they wanted because back over on the sidelines, they will be losing their Oracle here, but could maybe pull a good team fight out of it. The arrow goes through, but no.
Well, this is Zip.
Oh, wait, hang on. Zip. They come in, and that's a full HP Zip right there onto Robo-Z.
And it's just, he's having such an incredible game on Ray. 16-1 and 5, but at the same time, from Unknown, knowing that they can fight there, and I'm surprised DogChamp stuck around, maybe getting a little bit too ahead of themselves with the lead that they gained, but that was your BKB smoke on the Death Prophet, and killing Creep like that, I mean, he's still respawning, but the Storm Spirit, he's starting to ball, he's starting to get out of control, and 25 Bloodstone charges, once he has this Bloodthorn, then they're going to be able to kill Berna that second time, and until he has BKB, now Berna's going to start becoming a target in these fights, whereas before, he just pop his ultimate, and then he'd try and run away, but it's going to start to get even closer, especially with this Roche being live. DogChamp might be able to force Unknown to leave their base.
I mean, it is the Roche that's going to control this point in the game, because we're at the 30-minute mark where Roche is literally the name of the game. This Abyssal Blade almost done with Creep as well. Like, he'll probably end up getting it shortly after this Roche, but I mean, Creep doesn't even need help. He's just laying into this Roshan. The courier flies through and will get cleaved down by the wake there. And it's just the cheese though. It's not the Aegis, not the refresher shard, and not all of them at once.
And we see this a lot nowadays, especially in these lineups where, oh, they're going for a
in.
big zip.
Lisa, he was trying to farm, and actually he will end up getting hit by this leash, and he's going to be in trouble here. The Soulbind actually brings in Robo Z as well, so they get 2 kills with this one. The troll is there, but the disarm goes out immediately. They are going to at least try to go for the kill on product, but the silence is going to be there. It's a long one. Will purge it off for the time being. The Yules is not going to go out by Lukey, though. He's already expended it defensively, and they're going to try to go for this Wraith King again. And the first life is looking pretty dead, and indeed it goes down. Drakeel, though, BKB immediately, but it doesn't even matter. You see this troll wailing into Burna. His ult's available, the full refresh.
Oh,
Drakeel will fall as well. It looked real bad at the beginning with Lukey falling, but just DogChamp able to turn that team fight around. And
no buybacks.
Yeah, there's no buys. Like, they want to try to force, but there's nothing to force, and maybe they'll just walk down mid with this. Rough one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. This, what's going on here? This, Ray Elisa, this isn't the Arkosh game.
Gaining some ire, which with the what? Then that's the most appropriate voice line I've seen in a while. And it's going to be at least 2 racks, but that fight was so bad. They lost Robo-Z instantly. He wasn't even able to get the exorcism off, so they do have it to defend this final set, but this just feels like a freebie for DogChamp at this point.
Yeah, they
might not
like,
even leave.
Where are these buybacks? Why no buyback? The whole reason we're here, we wait a minute. We are anti-Arkosh. Well, just
Interesting.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I mean, you already did it. There's no going back. They will throw the fort, which will delay the inevitable. Well, I say the inevitable still. I mean, we know that Unknown can pull it back. Burna isn't exactly... Well, Burna is not terribly behind, but the BKB is going to need to be out there. But even then, though, Creep could just press R with the new Abyssal Blade he's got on, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, and it just feels like now Unknown, they've sort of run out of time. They have the level 18 on the Death Prophet, but they don't have any defensive capabilities at this point, and it feels like all of that speed that they were gaining, that one fight where they were able to get the reveal, it was still a 13k gold lead then, and after this Aegis, it just feels like a wall is forming in front of them.
And that wall being the giant pile of gold that is the 24k net worth lead. You know what's funny is Creep has had this as a normal maelstrom almost the whole entire game. Like, he's not going to finish into the Glyphnir. He's not going to go for the very usual one, which we see as the Mjolnir.
And he just feels completely confident. Yeah, it just makes your hero farm so fast. It gives you that javelin timing where you were able to punish this Timbersaw, and that was the big difference, I think, in this game was Creep getting that great start off in the bot lane where they were able to kill that Timbersaw 1 or 2 times, and at the same time in the top lane they were able to kill Burna 1 or 2 times. And that's where the initial spread started to happen. And nobody has buyback in this game now, though. They need to be very careful with how they engage with DogChamp. But I feel like with this next Aegis, it's going to expire in about 1:30. That we might see this final rack topple.
I mean, it is going back to the statement I really hate saying, because it just, you know that the game is going to continue to extend because of it. It is going to be based around the next Roshan. And it's so annoying to say that because it's just such a boring comment to make. Because it's such a boring thing to rely on. But it is what ends up winning these later games. Having that ability to reset, more or less, with another life. And, I mean, come the 3rd Roshan, either have a refresher or your free Aghanim Scepter, which for Wraith King would be insane. While the same being can be said for, not for Trolls. I believe it's still the old... No, it is Trolls' new one.
Oh,
right,
they know
Shard
they saw
is
the
old
word.
one. They jump in immediately. Lukey is going to be revealed. Ray Lisa will throw out the BKB. He's going to go for Burna on the sidelines here. And Burna, first life will be expended. And they are going to whop the BKB here. And Creep just getting laid into, or laying into Burna, pardon. And they will be able to get this double kill. There are buybacks this time on these 2 cores, and they will indeed do that. However, the Oracle is the first one to die in this transaction, though. You do see Creep is losing a lot of HP. The Aegis timer, though, just in time. Had another 22 seconds left in it, I believe, but they are looking to try pile up the stun there. The Yules is going to go through. Robo Z trying to apply some pressure, but the Soulbind is going to cause a little bit of light issues while Luki still cleans up house, finding the Cone Robo Z and the Abyssal Blink in out onto the sidelines. Burna, though, his life is back. They saw the TP. They wanted to try to contest it, but its first life is now dead again. Or Burna, they buy back on the DP. I don't think that's going to be enough, though. They have the Yules, but Burna, he's burning away from the Spirit Vessel. And they will find this kill. And then following suit, they will get the Death Prophet, and that is a GG. DogChamp will take the second game of the series, making it a 1-1 even. And a well-deserved victory.
All I can say is rough one. Coming out from Ray, I mean... It was really the role reversal, as it was complete night and day. Luki was able to get something out. Everybody was able to win their lane. And as I've emphasized so many times, it feels like that's the victory to DogChamp's success. And even in that fight where they were doing everything on a sheet of paper, Unknown were doing exactly what they needed to do. They put so much pressure on Bloody Nine, on that Oracle. They got him down, but the rest of the three cores on DogChamp, even Yarn started feeling like a core, as he was just always getting those vessels out, solo cresting his teammates. It just felt like Unknown were opposing to the previous game, running out of time, as well as a completely dominant performance from the Storm Spirit. I mean, Ray played beautifully on the hero.
And it was indeed really is able to pull that back out, and it's just the troll just kind of got out of hand. And everything just got out of hand. I had doubt, all right? It's very clear that I had doubt at the very beginning that Luki first pick Mars was just like, okay, well, I don't know.
After the first game, I understand. I completely understand.
But now coming into the second game, you could see that Luki Mars can still prevail. It wasn't just a one-game fluke. But yeah, well, DogChamp will be able to take it with that. Rayleeza playing his friggin' heart out, because last game he didn't really have a great lane, and that showed very immediately, while Rayleeza in this game, 19-1. Having a very fun time. But speaking of fun times, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, my internet is not lagging anymore. I'll jinx it right now, because we're going to go to a break. We're going to have a quick 10-minute break. Team DogChamp and Unknown with this series being done. There is one series remaining. It'll be Penta Ace versus Latam Defenders. And that one is going to be a pretty crazy matchup. We've seen some crazy picks come out from the Latam boy, or from the Penta boys, pardon. Or Penta Ace boys. And I'm excited to see what magic they might have in their bag of magic for the next series. But the next series is also the last one. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen... Oh, go ahead. No, go.
No. I'm just agreeing with you. Last series of the day.
Yeah, it'll be the last series of the day. We're at 7:35 PST, and my poor boy ET is going to be up until about possibly 1 a.m. with depending on how the last series goes. But with that being said,
Arkosh games.
I know, dude.
Games.
It's like Naga versus like Medusa with a CK in the game. Like, that game extended way too long. But it was a good game to watch for sure. But you know what happens after like 45 minutes? Commentators start running out of things to talk about. And that's what I was afraid of in that game. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with our next series coming up right around the corner. Again, it is Penta Ace versus Latam Defender. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Dota 2 action.